Hey, Dot Sisters and our friends across the globe. It is Shannon Crotty, founder and CEO of Polka Dot Powerhouse, here today with another amazing Decade Dot interview. Today we have the beautiful and incredible Angela Albee. Angela, thank you for doing this interview today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, now a lot of our Dot community knows Angela, and I'll talk more about some of the reasons for that later. But for those who aren't familiar with you, kind of tell us more about who you are.
Well, who I am. Well, I am Angela Albee. I am known as the chapter big sister or dot big sister, or as I used to say, because I kept fumbling over it, big dot sister, any of those terms. Since I've been a doc for so many years, I've been tagged with that in my leadership role at the Shakopee, Minnesota chapter. I'm assuming you did want me to speak about my polka dot, talking about my polka dot stuff. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. Whatever, all the
like
things.
Sure. Awesome. I love everything there is about polka dot, and I am also on the legacy leadership team as the celebration gift swag and awards coordinator. It is a mouthful.
Yeah.
And I'm super, as I say, I don't always wear the pink and orange, but I bleed pink and orange. Big time.
And when you're not doing dot stuff, tell us more about you and what you do, what your passion is, what your hobbies are.
Absolutely. Well, when I'm always dotting, if you will. But when I'm not, I enjoy going to concerts. I am an 80s baby, or actually, well, a late mid 70s baby, but 80s music, hair bands. I love them. They are my jam, if you will. So I go to concerts to see those old 80 bands that I couldn't see when I was younger because my dad wouldn't let me, because I was apparently too young at 12. So I go and see them all now. And then I also like heavy metal, so I like going to those. I'm kind of an extrovert, just a little bit. So I need people. Even though when I'm in the big crowds, I need my bubble around me, but
Yeah.
I just love that. And then I spend as much time up north. I'm looking out the window over the lake in northern Minnesota at our lake place as much time as I can in the summer from like May to October.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
super
You're
love it.
also a badass businesswoman. Am I correct on that? Yes.
I try to be.
Tell us
Yes.
about that. What do you do? What do you do? What are you passionate about in business?
Well, I have been in this market in promotional marketing for for 12, 14 years, something like that. And I decided in October of 2023 it was time to move on and time to be on my own and not give away half of my stuff. And I started my own company. I chose the name of my company is Amped Advertising. And there were two reasons I chose that. One, my initials are AA, Amped Advertising. I like to play on my initials. And two, I chose the word amped because it means full of energy and excited.
That
And
would be perfect description.
it's me. I feel that's what you get when you get me. You get this energy. I always say you get an Angela when you work with me. Um, and then I have my little lightning bolt in my logo because it's my little nod to the music scene.
Yeah.
So it makes me very
Perfect.
passionate as you see when I talk about it. I just love everything that it is I do. So I mean, I bring people. I like to say I help people shine,
Yeah. I love
and
that.
that
And it's perfect.
brings me joy.
I also think of the amped as your energy, but also your love, amps, your love of the rock band with your Thunderbolt in there. And yeah, it's perfect.
Thank
It's
you.
perfect. All right. So I just said at the first part of this interview that it was a decade dot interview, which means Angela has been a member 10 or more years. So tell us just briefly your dot story and how you found Polka Dot.
Yeah, it is actually a fairly brief story. In 20, it would have been 2014. It was like mid-April, somewhere around there. I was approached by a nice lady named Heather, and she said she found me on Facebook. Total stranger, never heard of her, never, nothing. Found me on Facebook and said, "Hey, I like your energy. You just, your pictures look cool. You look like you're fun. We're starting, there's this chapter launching here in St. Paul of this Polka Dot Powerhouse. It's this woman empowerment connection company. It's awesome. I'd love for you to come and join us at our chapter launch." And I went, and I didn't know anybody there. I just walked in, and there was, like I said, this was a lot of pink and orange, and I'm like thinking, Polka Dot Powerhouse, what's polka dots, and I walked in, and it was like I was welcomed by, I think there was like, it was a room full of people, so it was probably at least 30 people there.
Yeah.
And it was like they were my best friends immediately. I didn't even know who they were, and they welcomed me with open arms. They just like, "Oh my gosh, we love you. This is such a great place." And it was the launch. So it was like, I think everybody was kind of in that excitement, and it was just beautiful. And I think I joined like 3 days later. I thought about it for a hot minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know,
then I don't know, and I've slept since then. You may have a better memory than me. I don't know if it was immediate, but you pretty much were a very iconic member in Minnesota from the get-go. I think that you jumped in pretty quickly, if I'm remembering right.
yes, yes, I believe I did. I think I jumped in, I jumped right into leadership. I think I was, gosh, I had different roles in leadership, and as the chapters evolved, I think it was like a speaker coordinator or something like that. And then as a couple, years passed, and then we had passing of the torch, and to a new chapter, to managing director. And then that director thought, Angela doesn't, you do great at the speaker thing, but you just bleed this pink and orange, and you are all this, you're all about polka dot, you are all about the being in that dot bubble. You would be a great big sister. And that I've been there since the beginning,
Right.
almost the beginning. I mean, at the beginning of Minnesota anyway.
Yeah.
um so that's kind of how I evolved into the chapters, and then most recently the legacy.
Yeah.
But I just, yeah, I love it.
So let's talk about the year that you won a big award. Maybe I should let you talk about that. Maybe, I mean, I'll fill in the spots that I think that maybe you won't, but maybe you should talk about that. So talk about that year and about winning that award.
Okay, I believe it was the year 2021, and we were in, where were we? We
Minneapolis,
were
I think.
where we
Or
were in Minneapolis, were we
Minneapolis.
not?
Yeah.
We were in
Yeah.
Minneapolis. Okay. So we were in Minneapolis in the year 2021, and at Celebration on the Saturday evening, we have this amazing gala. Everyone, dresses up as much as comfortable, dresses up or as down as much as they want. And we just celebrate each other and celebrate the accomplishments and everything. And so there's these two awards. At that time, there were these two awards that were awards that nobody know how, but Shannon and Brian know who is the recipient of these awards. One is the leadership impact, or impact award for leadership, and the other is for membership. So you're sitting there, and Shannon's talking about somebody and how, she shows up and she's always there, and she's talking about somebody, and I'm sitting there in the chair at my table with everybody, and I'm looking around, like, I'm like thinking, I'm like, gosh, I had like three people in my head. I'm like, oh, she's so talking about this person. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. She's talking about so and so.
Yeah.
Well, then I hear my name called. She's like, it's Angela Albee. And I'm like, okay, to be honest, and I like to share this because I have to share this, I almost peed. I was blown away. I mean, like literally blown away. I had absolutely no clue. I was actually videotaping. Like I was taping this, like, because I wanted to know, and I'm taping it, and all of a sudden my name's called. I think my phone, I just dropped it.
Ah,
And it was incredible. And then and my husband still kind of teases me about it as I'm up on stage and I'm accepting this amazing, most amazing award, which I wish I had here with me, but it's back in my other office at home. Um, I get on stage and all I can tell people is how much I love them. That's all I felt like Sally Field, or in the version of Jim Carrey in The Mask, of "You love me, you really, really love me." And I that's how I felt in that moment. Of course, like days later, I'm thinking of all these beautiful things I should have, or thought I should have said, or like what I could have said, like, oh, I wanted to say this and this and this, but all I could think of was, I love you all.
you did perfect. Like, I wouldn't change anything about what you said. That is who you are, right? Like, you are such a giving person. When was it a remind? Because I think that every year when we give the Impactor Award, um, number one, I'm a very like strategic and logistical person. I want a member or whomever, a leadership, and now there's 4 awards. Back in there, then there was 2. They've been here a long time. That's shown that they're all in. They help. They're not just here for them. They help other Dot sisters. They get the mission and the vision, all those things. And I remember that year when I was looking at who I was considering, that kept coming to the top. And one of the things that we love is to give the award to people who are hugely impactful in our community, but don't necessarily get that, or they wouldn't expect to hear their name, just much like you said, you didn't expect to hear your name.
Mhm.
After, I don't know if it was the same, if it's the same night or 2 days, like 3 days later, was it a confirmation to you that, yeah, I'm super impactful in this community? Because I remember when we called your name and you were up on stage, and later everybody was like, that was the perfect person to have given that award to. So did it remind you how important you are and how much
It,
impact you're having?
it absolutely did. It's still, I mean, and I still sometimes feel like wooey. I like to use the word wooey about it. Um, I mean, it's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary to me. Um, but yes, I really do, it really did make me feel, like you say, seen and heard, and like, wow, like, again, you love me, you really love me. I mean, it just,
That they see me.
because, and you see me, and it's because I really do try to make an impact in this community,
You
because this
do,
community has given me, so much, and so much encouragement and empowerment and support,
right?
that I just know, it needs to be shared with everybody.
Right.
So,
I know that sometimes every once in a while, we'll have a member come in and ask, okay, what's the best way? Like there's 3,000 members. What's the best way to fit in here? What do I need to do? And my response is always the same. In my opinion, the only thing that you need to do is be you, and be you a little more, right? Because to me, then you're shining a light that no one else can shine. Like if you're trying to, everybody's got to do what they think is best. But for me, if you're trying to, we want you to stand out as opposed to fitting in. And actually, when you stand out, then you will fit in, because you'll find your place. You'll be like a lighthouse. You'll be attracting people. They won't be able to look away. They'll be drawn to you, and you'll be accepted and seen. So, one thing I think about you, Angela, is that you've always been very involved and all in our community. And you've also always, when I look and think of you, I always think of someone who remains very true to who they are. And so I don't know if that's always been easy for you, but that's always been what I perceive from you. And that's a really, really important thing for people to see other people. I'm sure you're human, so I'm sure you get those doubtful thoughts from time to time, but you don't let that, at least from what we see, you don't let that affect your ability to be yourself.
Right. Right. I actually always have been like this. I've always been, this is me. It's me is me. No matter if I'm in business, I'm in personal life, I'm in wherever. It's always, there's some people who have different personas of which role they're in.
Right.
I'm just Angela. I'm just me. And I think
Not
that people do.
just, not
I'm
just
just me. I
Angela.
am me. I am me.
Angela.
I am me. I'm not
Like
just, yeah, I am me. This
with
is
the hair bands with the pyro, what is that, the flaming things,
pyro,
something.
pyrographics, pyro
Yeah,
something.
I know, everybody
The
knows
fire
what we're
stuff.
talking about, I hope. Anyway, so not just Angela, but Angela, boom, 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 right? Like, yeah, I love that you have modeled to people how to be yourself in a way that's not like anybody else. And I think when people are truly being themselves, they're not like anybody else.
Well, we shouldn't be because none of us are like anyone else.
Right.
Everybody is, we all are unique and,
Yeah.
you know,
That's our superpower.
it is. It is.
Yeah. Um, so why do you think, because I know again, like you've been even before your own legacy, you were very involved in our sisterhood. Why do you think sisterhood is so important?
Um, you know, when I came to Dots and I had jumping back, I didn't know I needed the sisterhood.
Yeah.
Like literally, I had no idea I needed that, but holy wow, I did. And it's the community. There's always someone there to support you or to, you have an issue or you have anything, you go reach out to the community and someone's always there. It was at celebration, I think it was last year or was it the year before where um oh my gosh, I am the speaker's escaping me,
Okay.
but she had mentioned of, everybody, if you um own a horse, stand up. And then you look around the room and it's like, and you think you might be the only one, but whoa, there's like 30 people here who own horses. And now go and connect with those people. There's a great way, and it was a wonderful connect activity
Right.
or just or an activity during that speaker. And I really love that was just part of like, it's that the sisterhood. I mean, it just really is. Oops, I smacked my ring. It is important to me. And like I said, I never knew I needed that. I was never part of like sororities or things like that. And I mean, I know a lot of dots have been, and that, they kind of experience some of that sisterhood, but there's something really different about polka dot. There's something really different about this community.
Yeah. I
It's like I
agree.
need a dot, and I like unconditionally love them.
Yeah. And it's really hard to explain to people because it's very hard to explain a feeling like you said, I didn't know I needed it, but I needed it. And we often hear
Yes.
women say, I didn't even think I liked women, right? Like I haven't had a great experience and I came here waiting for the other shoe to drop and it didn't. I think that there's a couple of reasons for that, but I think that when you remind people that all you care about is them being them and them helping them get where they want to go, not where you want them to go, but where they want to go. I think that it frees up all that energy we've spent in worry and trying to do this and that and the other thing and what people will think and all that. All of a sudden, it frees up all this energy and focus so we can do what we're here to do, right? What we want to do. So what, like, if you were to go back to first year Angela, what would you tell with what you know now, what would you tell first year Angela as a member?
um I did kind of jump in pretty hard or deep, if you will, but I would tell Angela, first year Angela, um to reach out a little more to those who are, maybe new, or have been, thinking about it, or just reaching out to people to really share the amazingness of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's what do we say? Sometimes even like leaders, sometimes it takes a leader even a year or two to find their feet as a member. Sometimes you don't. There's so many ways in our community to connect, and there's so many resources to do that, that sometimes it takes some time to find your feet. But it's like anything else. The more you give, the more you're going to receive. So I think even, yeah, without trying to overwhelm yourself, the more that you jump in, and if nothing else, are curious about other people and put that
Mhm.
curiosity out there, I think that it starts to shine a light on who the community is and all the ways that, okay, can be a community that I carry with me through all the parts of the life. And the membership is so rich and diverse that no matter what evolution I have as a person, there's going to be people here that are going to stand. I like to say stand with, not in front of, behind, or but right beside me on that journey. So yeah, I love that. Well, okay, so what made you, okay, you remember, did you always think of yourself as a leader, or was there something that kicked in that you thought, I want a shot at a leadership kind of role?
No, I never thought of myself as that. And when I was asked about being on that first part of the leadership as the speaker coordinator, it's I wanted to do it because I wanted to help. I wanted to be part of the community and on that, little on that level, if you will.
Right.
Um, but then when the Dot Big Sister came to be, that's where I really felt like, oh wow, I can help, mentor people. Or if anyone, you have a question, I always say it's not limited to our chapter.
Right.
Anyone who is a dot, new or older, or whatever, I'm
Yeah.
always here. I love helping people and I love sharing
Yeah.
and lending whatever advice I can give, because I definitely, I'm not necessarily I'm not very filtered. So I will share and
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Well, we love that about you. We love that about you. If anybody is watching this looking at Polka Dot and like, "Ugh, I don't know, it says the words dot in it. It's talking about girls hanging out, and I don't know about," what would you say to someone that's like, it's hard to describe. We don't know what to do, but if you were in an elevator with someone like, yeah, I heard about that dot thing. I don't know. I just don't know. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that I was them. I was them. Like, what, Polka Dot Powerhouse? What's this pink and orange? Oh my gosh, I wear black, um and it was, and then it's like, okay, that's the name.
Yeah.
Those are colors. It's not what it is.
Right.
It's underneath that. That's just the book cover.
Right.
In the book, it's filled with all the pages of all the amazing um
Yeah.
connections and all the amazing people from, we can now say across the globe.
Woohoo.
You can
Yeah.
actually say that now. And I just say it's like, it's a connection company like nothing other, like nothing else. It's, you want to feel empowered, you want some support, you want to be encouraged
Right.
in your life, in your business, in your whatever.
Yeah.
Polka Dots for you.
Awesome. I love that. I love the book analogy too, because you know me, I like to say we have a blank page here, right? So number one, our cover looks the way our cover looks. You go into that book, there's just a vast lot of sparkle in there to be discovered, but your page in that book is blank, and you get to architect who you are in our community and where you go and how you utilize the membership and how you benefit and how you receive and how you give. I think that's a wonderful gift. Well, Angela, can't, I, I think I said it when I gave you that award in the way that I gave, we chose you for that award, and we've said it often after, but I could never say enough how important, impactful, and loved you are in our family, not only by myself and Brian, but the whole community. And it's an honor to call you my dot sister. So thank you for this time today. Okay,
Thank you very
we will be back with another Decade Dot interview in the near future. Until then, be safe, find joy, and look for sisters. Okay, thank you.